In this video, we will be showing you the best Android phones on Amazon today. So if you're looking for the best Android phones, we got you covered. And as usual, we have the links to all the Android phones mentioned in this video in the description below. And make sure you like and subscribe for more videos like this. Now, let's go straight to the video. Number 5. Xiaomi Mi 9T Pro. This handset builds on the excellent Xiaomi Mi 9 to add even more in the way of functionality and features, and it ditches the front display notch to give you even more in the way of screen. The 20-megapixel selfie camera is moved to a motorized pop-up unit. Like its predecessor, the Xiaomi Mi 9T Pro combines flagship-level specs with a design that's guaranteed to turn heads wherever you get this phone out. Combine that with a very appealing price, and it's a fantastic all-around package from Xiaomi, one that's well worth a place on our best Android phones of 2020 list. There is some cutting of corners here, like the lack of waterproofing and wireless charging, but at this sort of price, it's difficult to grumble. Xiaomi continues to outdo itself and give Apple, Samsung, and Google plenty to worry about. If you can live with Xiaomi's rather haphazard take on Android, then this is the phone that's going to give you several years of top-notch performance. The camera is another point in the positives column too, giving you very decent results most of the time, even in low light. Number 4. Samsung Galaxy Note 10. The Note 10 excels in every department, from the quality of the components under the hood, to the fit and polish of the design, to the impressive results you get from the versatile camera system. What really makes the Note 10 stand out on this best Android phones list, though, is that superb S Pen stylus. It's been improved and upgraded once more this year with a huge 10-hour battery life and new Air Gestures feature, the latter allowing you to control your phone by using the stylus like a wand. Everything from the playback of videos and music tracks to the browsing of websites and onto the control of the phone's camera can now be undertaken with a flick of the wrist. With a screen size of 6.3 inches and a 3,500 milliamp hour battery inside, this is a phone that you can get some serious work done on. There is also some excellent audio capability packed in here, with Dolby Atmos and UHQ upscaling included. Whichever part of the Note 10 you look at, it ends up impressing. It has a bigger brother too, the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, which can be selected in a 5G variant. This phone is technically better equipped than the standard Note 10, but it costs much more, and with a humongous 6.8-inch screen is unwieldy to use. And considering the standard Note 10 delivers 95% of its functionality for hundreds of pounds less, it is the obvious choice in the range. Number 3. ONEPLUS 7T Pro. The ONEPLUS series continues to go from strength to strength, and while the ONEPLUS 7T Pro might not be a huge improvement over the ONEPLUS 7 Pro, it doesn't really matter. The design is gorgeous. You have the fastest chip around, Android-wise, in the Snapdragon 855 Plus, and the software impresses too. It's hard to pick faults in the ONEPLUS 7T Pro, though that pop-up selfie camera might not be to everyone's taste. It works well, and if it means no notch, then it's okay with us. You don't get many configuration choices either, but what there is should suit you if you're looking to buy one. cameras have sometimes let the ONEPLUS series down. And while the rear snapper on the ONEPLUS 7T Pro isn't quite as good as, well, say, the Pixel phones, it's still capable of getting very decent shots in good light and low light. It's not going to let you down and offers up to 3 times optical zoom. All in all, this is undoubtedly one of the best Android phones so far, and we'd have no qualms about recommending it to you. We're even more excited to see what ONEPLUS is going to do next year with the ONEPLUS 8. Number 2, HUAWEI P30 Pro. We really like what HUAWEI has managed to do with the HUAWEI P30 Pro, and it easily slides onto our best Android phones of 2020. It makes an appearance at the expense of the P20 Pro and builds on everything that made the 2018 handset great as well. We're talking internal components that are enough to give it lightning-fast performance. Note the Kirin 980 processor and up to 8 gigabytes of RAM, as well as a quad-lens camera capable of performing some really impressive tricks, not least a whopping 5 times of optical zoom. This being a Huawei phone, the software experience is a long way from being the best in the business. However, the excellent hardware and build quality means that the P30 Pro ends up a long way in credit when everything is considered. Number 1, Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. If you're looking for the best Android smartphone money can buy, stop reading and buy the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. Simply put, this is the fastest, most feature-packed and refined Galaxy smartphone Samsung has ever built. The Galaxy S10 Plus is the first handset to employ its all-new Infinity O design with an AMOLED panel. And what an AMOLED panel it is! The screen is staggeringly good, with gorgeous colors and cavernous blacks. The Infinity O design, which relocates the front-facing camera to a pill-shaped cutout in the top right-hand corner of the display, has allowed Samsung to fit the S10 Plus with an expansive 6.4-inch AMOLED panel. That's the same size as the Galaxy Note 9, while simultaneously shrinking the physical size of the handset compared to the 6.2-inch Galaxy S9 Plus from last year. Elsewhere, there are dual selfie cameras to enable live focus photos packed with bokeh-style blur, a new ultra-wide-angle camera in the rear, mounted triple camera, and an ultrasonic in-display fingerprint scanner that works with wet hands. Finally, the new One UI operating system, which is based on Android Pie, is infinitely better than anything of the likes of Huawei, LG, or Sony. One UI has been designed from the ground up to acknowledge that while we all want massive screens on our phones, massive smartphones are really annoying to use, especially one-handed while squished in the train carriage during a morning commute. To solve the headache, One UI shifts all the elements of the user interface that you'll actually need to tap into the lower third of the touchscreen, where they are within easy reach. Of course, there are some nitpicks with this flagship phone, which we cover extensively in our Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus review. But none of these stop this from becoming our new go-to recommendation for anyone who wants the best Android handset around. And if you got to the end of this video, we have a bonus number 6, HUAWEI Nova 5T. The Nova 5T is a little like Huawei's version of the Pixel 3a, but it's a touch more powerful than Google's mid-ranger. and available at around the same price. In other words, it's slightly less than flagship specs and design for those who don't want to part with a huge chunk of cash for their next smartphone, and it's a very appealing package all around. Huawei has always impressed with the cameras on its phones, and the quad lens 48 megapixel, plus 16 megapixel, plus 2 megapixel, plus 2 megapixel is ready to continue that trend. Shots in most situations turn out really great, thanks in part to the onboard AI processing, and low-light pictures are more than adequate too. In a nod to the phone's mid-range positioning, there's no optical zoom here, but you do get an ultra-wide-angle lens if you need one. As for the design, this is a really fantastic-looking phone, with a discreet punch-hole notch and very little in the way of bezels. It's big without being too big, and overall, it looks a lot more expensive than it actually is. Under the hood, you get a generous 6 gigabytes of RAM and the Kirin 980 CPU, not Huawei's latest or fastest processor, but very close to it. And so this is a phone that won't let you down in the performance stakes either. Crucially, the phone is exempt from the ban on Google apps and services that has hobbled the launch of the Mate 30 series. You can load the Nova 5T up with as many Google apps as you like. It may lack features such as wireless charging, but at the price it's available for, the Huawei Nova 5T is absolutely one of the best Android phones you can get today. Thanks for watching.